All right. All my HVAC guys are here, Alex. So, good morning.
All right, so who do we have in the room, sir?
We have Renars, Mike, Jesse, and Ryan. The only one I don't have actually is William here right now, but everyone else is here.
Bernard, Mike, Jesse, and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yep, they can hear you.
All right, now, all of you guys were present at the last meeting we had, correct? Our first training?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they were on there.
Now, it's been about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, y'all got the tools about a week and a half ago, is that correct?
Around that.
Oh, about a week, less than a week, I think.
Yeah, about a week
All
ago.
right, so now, who remembers anything of the training?
I do.
Outstanding. All right, sir. So let me ask you a question. Let's just kind of review the process a little bit because we have Alan in place for the next week or so, our go-to guy. We've had a couple problems getting him to you, and that's going to be something we have to really dial in because I don't want any pressure on the technicians. Remember what I told you all? The last thing I want is for you to try to sell. I got that discussion very, very clearly. I don't want pressure on you. I don't want you to try to fill in the gaps. I don't want you to try to make up something. Technicians are not designed to sell. Some of us can sell. The majority of us are very comfortable being a technician, and that's the whole point of the process. So what was the reasoning? What was the reasoning that we even looked at the coil in the first place on a 65, 55-degree day? Why don't we even look at the coil?
Because you see rust and calcification coming out of the condensate line.
Outstanding, sir. Exactly right. And the last thing you want is that water, or the possibility of water, ever entering the furnace and or the area for any reason whatsoever. Now, refresh my memory. Did you guys work on a majority of upflows or horizontals?
Both.
All right, but what do you see most of? Just about 50-50?
Yeah, about 50-50.
All right, so which one of you guys has practiced using the video as a tool to show the homeowner what's going on when you're in a horizontal application? Because you're not going to bring them up to the attic. Who's actually practiced that video?
I practiced it on a vertical, but that was a special case scenario.
Okay, so remember, gentlemen, you want to talk to that person on the video, and it seems stupid, but you want to talk to the person like they're right there behind you. You want to show them the scuttle hole. You want to show them as you walk through the attic, stuff in their attic, so they know that you're in their attic. You're going to point out, an old shirt, pair of boots, whatever, something that belongs to them. And where's the first place you stop with that video?
Where's the first place you stop with the video? That's the question.
At a rusty spot that is not going to beep, does not have a leak.
Nope. Remember the video showing the homeowner, because they're downstairs waiting for you. The video, you're going to stop on the emergency drain pan.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell
right.
them, this is the emergency drain pan. You're going to have the flashlight. You're going to show them the rust. You're going to tell them the only reason why it's here is to save your ceiling from collapsing, because that's the truth. They clearly see the water damage that I see, and that led me to believe there could be a problem elsewhere. So even though I'm here today to fix your furnace, the only place water comes from is the coil. Let me show you what I discovered. And that's when I told you to back up a minute, show them the coil, the flashlight, let them see all the rust, then slowly, as you're turning over to the leak detector, tell them you have a leak detector because you cannot possibly hear it, smell it, taste it, and then your air conditioning company, you don't get paid to guess. And based on all the corrosion you can clearly see, you thought maybe there was a leak. And you're going to show them one time where the leak is, although you have already found it 3 times. That's what you're going to tell them. You're going to tell them exactly where it is. You're going to pinpoint it to them, and you're going to show them where it's working and it's not leaking. And you're going to tell them, I've already called my supervisor. His name is Alan. He's coming over here right now to come confirm this. And rather than me trying to tell you about this, I'm going to show you this video that I made. Remember, gentlemen, you want the video to sound like it's the first time you've done it, and you're trying to help them understand. Not a robot type situation. So before you leave today, practice the video. Now let's go ahead and back up to the front door. How far back from the front door are you going to stand?
8 feet.
How goddamn standing? Tell me why.
So they feel comfortable.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Because I told y'all. Remember, I'm not 5'2", and it's very easy to intimidate the homeowner. So you want to give them some space. Now then, They talk about engaging the homeowner. How do we engage them? Where do we want to go first?
Thermostat.
All right, gentlemen, how do we invite her to go to the thermostat?
You ask her where it's located, and you have her
Okay.
follow you as you go.
Okay, perfect. Now remember, we use one little word, and I compared it to Star Trek. What did I say about the thermostat? I didn't say whether it was working. I wanted to know if it was what?
Communicating.
Outstanding, gentlemen, communicated, because that word, you can hear that word on a regular basis. It's just a simple little word that differentiates your conversation. It puts you one step higher in conversation. It's just how the human mind works. People key in on weird things. You walk first to the thermostat. You've never had to engage a thermostat. Now, on the upflow position, how do we get the homeowner to come with us? I don't want her to go away from us. How do I invite her to come with us to the upflow?
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay, here's what I said. Alan, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, here's what I said, gentlemen. Alan was taking notes that day. Let's just say Debbie Smith, whatever. Now, Debbie, I don't know if it's our company's first visit or 100th visit, although you already know the answer to that question. But it is now company policy and protocol, due to all the government changing with R22, that we actually do a different inspection for you. So if you have a few minutes, I'd like to show you what we do for you for your money. If there's any questions or problems, you're going to see it right then and there. Remember that part of the conversation?
Yeah.
Because remember, we want to blame the government for what we want to get ready to do. We want to make sure she understands. We want to show her what we're doing for her money. But most importantly, customers don't trust you yet, and they don't believe you yet. You're giving her the opportunity to come follow you and prove you wrong, which is why she will follow you. And the whole beauty of getting her there is to show her that coil. Remember, that's the whole point, is to show her that coil. Now, when you do the leak search on that coil, and you find the leak the first time, what did I tell you to say?
We generally check these 3 times just in case. Because sometimes we get false positives.
We want to turn around, gentlemen, with no pressure. We want to be not attacking her and not going after her money. So when you find that leak the first time, I wanted you to turn around and say, Debbie, you know what? I don't want to hear that sound. Remember what I'm telling you, gentlemen. I don't want to hear that sound. Because that makes her think you're not doing what?
Trying to get her to get a new coil.
That's exactly right. You're not coming after her for anything. You're still on her side. And I told you you had to shut that unit off. After you shut it off, I then told you to tell her, because you're turning it back on as quick as you can, 30 seconds. Boom, boom. You know what, Debbie? This is a very sensitive piece of equipment. It could indeed have a false reading. So before I tell you there's any bad news, let's just reconfirm. That does 2 things for you. Number 1, if you got a false reading and you don't find a leak, everything's great, you're a hero. If you find the leak, she's ready and understands what that means. So you're going to start anywhere but where you found the leak. You're going to start anywhere. And like you said earlier, try to find a place with the most rust that was not leaking so she can see it. Don't spend 5 hours doing it. Once you get from point A to point B, boom, you get the leak again. Now what do you say? Remember, this is the second time. I want you to be confirming, and I want you to be firm. What do you say now?
Something along the lines of, this is the reason why we try this 3 times, just to confirm what we found.
What's the second time?
That's a good thing we're having the review, and that's a good answer. I like that answer, actually. But what I wanted you to say was, Debbie,
This device could be
unfortunately,
sensitive.
we definitely have a Freon leak. Remember I said Freon, not refrigerant. Boom, you're going to shut it off again. And what was the one thing I wanted you to do for me on the 3rd leak?
Let her do it.
No, yeah.
Right, so that's what you want to do. You say, Debbie, as a matter of fact, do you want to give it a try? This is her last chance to prove you what?
Wrong.
Yeah, and gentlemen, believe me, she's going to want to prove you wrong. She doesn't want to spend money today on a unit that's working and cooling. This is your last chance for her to prove you wrong. Remember what I told you to tell her? What did you tell her about the machine?
Sneaky.
It's very sensitive.
Right. The last thing y'all want her to do is grab that tool, potentially going on a birthday party edition, because if she waves it around real fast, it's going to go off all by itself. She's going to think you're a liar. If she bangs it around, it's going to go off all by itself. She's going to think you're a liar. So you tell her, Debbie, remember what I just told you. This is a very sensitive tool, so do me a favor. Please do not move fast, and please do not make it around. You're going to turn it on and put it about a foot in front of the coil. She will then go directly to the leak. Boom. Remember the importance of this step. Who found the leak? Who found it?
She
She
did.
found it.
That's right, gentlemen. She did the work for you. Who confirmed the problem?
She did.
Right. Now remember, the importance of that is if she has to call her husband, because sometimes ladies do not, and don't assume that she has to, it's a big mistake. But if she has to call her husband, she cannot be shaken. She saw the coil, she saw the rust, she found the leak, she confirmed it. The moment she finds that leak, what did I ask you all to do? Who are you going to call? Right then and there.
You call the supervisor and you ask them if they're clear.
Outstanding. You're going to call Alan. Alan, are you clear? Alan, here we go. Alan, are you clear?
Yep, I'm clear.
Okay, now remember, once you tell Alan you clear, Alan now knows you are with the homeowner and he is on point. You are never to call Alan with "Are you clear?" unless that parameter has been met. As soon as he says, "Yeah, I'm clear," what do y'all do?
You give them 3 bits of information.
Right, you put it on speakerphone. Boom. So she can hear the conversation immediately. That's Alan's heads up. He's going to be on speakerphone. Boom. And there's 3 things you want to tell Alan. What are they?
Name of homeowner, address, and what was the third one?
The customer's
You got it,
name.
you got it, gentlemen.
I'm with Mrs.
You got
Jones
it.
at address, and then I
Well,
need
the
you to
third
come
one.
verify that there's a leak, something to that
Right.
effect, right?
Perfect. So who
Verification.
you're at, who you're with, what you found. Alan, I'm at 2727 Albuquerque Drive, Debbie Smith, so now he knows where you're at, customer's name. I'm here to do a maintenance today. Unfortunately, I saw some water damage. I went ahead and looked into the evaporator. Man, it's got a freon leak. When is your ETA to come confirm this?
25
Alan,
minutes.
when's your ETA to come confirm this?
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay, great. Now, if I hang up, it does you no good because now you're sitting directly in the line of fire, and she's going to be curious about 2 things. Who the hell is Alan, and how much is this going to cost me? Did you all say that's the truth?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get you away from who?
Homeowner.
I got to get her away from home. Alan, how do we do it?
I tell him to go check the next
The condenser.
condenser in the.
So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to do it one more time. Me and you, Alan, because I want you dialed in with this because everybody's going to be kind of jittery on the first couple times.
All right.
Burners last.
So, let's see. Give me, somebody be Michelle. Who can be Michelle for me? Somebody, anybody.
Hi, Alex.
Now, I'm going to be Alan. Here's what I'm going to say. As soon as they give me the whole thing about the coil leaking, what's your ETA 45 minutes? Alan, here's what I've been saying. I'm being you now. Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes.
You ought to get a squeaky voice here, bud. So, Michelle, listen. Unfortunately, due to all the government changes, I don't have any options for you on that coil. Alan, remember, I say it right then and there because I want her to know I'm not adding Freon. I'm not going to fix it. This coil is going to the garbage. As a matter of fact, my Joe John, have you been outside already? Somebody tell me no.
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 Listen, do me a favor. I hope you got there in time. That's what I'm saying, Alan. I hope you got there in time, giving no pressure to my technician, and there's no damage to the outside compressor. And I say it as a command. Go outside right now, check that compressor. If you have any issues, you let me know. Click, and I hang up. This gets them away from the homeowner, and the homeowner is going to immediately do one of 2 things. Call the husband or follow the technician. If they follow the technician, they have no need to call the husband. If they don't follow the technician, they're calling the husband, found the coil, found the leak, saw it themselves. Some guy's coming out to look at the compressor. Remember why I said compressor. Not one customer has ever seen a compressor, but they've all heard of a compressor. And they tie that into money. They know that means money. So when Alan comes out, which are red, yellow, or green, the green means he's going to sell at least the coil or the air handler, and the customer is off the hook for not having to buy a new outdoor unit. If it's yellow or red, now there's a much, much more bigger consideration of the outdoor unit failing along with the coil, and that's the whole point of the conversation. Okay?
Okay, so I'm gonna say basically, on the phone, I'm gonna say, I hope you got there in time, I hope we got there in time, have you checked the compressor? And then they're gonna say
So
no,
let's
and I'm gonna say, go do that right
Give me
now.
one of your guys' names in the room. Give me one of the guys' names.
Ryan,
Brian, man, listen. You been outside already?
No, sir.
Yeah. Listen, do me a favor, Brian. I really hope you got here in time, and there's no damage to the outdoor unit, in particular that compressor. Go outside right now, check that compressor, know exactly what you find, and give me a call. I'm on the way. Click. And you hang up, Alan.
okay,
Now I've instructed him to go do something, and it gets him away from her, and gets that conflict off my technician's shoulders.
okay. Got it.
All right?
I'll have to practice that to myself a few times.
Yeah, everybody should take 10 minutes and just rehash what I just discussed with you. Just rehash what I just got. Literally, the front door. Literally, the corrosion. Literally, finding the coil. Literally, talking to Alan. Literally, are you clear? Because you don't want to practice in front of Debbie. Shit, I forgot what I had to say. God dang it. Remember, too many opportunities to screw it up. So practice for 10 minutes so you're a little bit more confident. And then just go do a real simple thing. Meet the customer, get a first name, go to the thermostat, engage them. You walk first for a very good reason. Open the coil, call Alan, make the compressor, give it to him to sell it. Alan, if you have any problems at all and you're not comfortable for whatever reason, brother, I'm in Vegas today. You can call me and I will sell it over the phone for you. Just give me a call.
All right, sounds good.
All right, gentlemen.
All right,
Good
thanks,
luck.
Alex.
Kick ass. Have a great day.
All right, thanks. All right, so I thought we needed that review. Number one, it had been such a long time before we even got the equipment, like a week. And then it's been, since then, it's almost been a week. And I also understand that, Kevin hasn't been nearly as available as he needs to be. So, I've already mentioned it to him, and now he's leaving town, so it's like, okay, I thought, what the hell am I gonna do, him being gone, and we're trying to start this process, we're all trying to make more money, and I don't want any of you guys to suffer that way because Kevin's not here. So, basically I talked to Gary Pacific yesterday, spent some time with those guys, and then I talked to Alex yesterday again, saying that, hey, I'm gonna have to be the guy, because there's nobody else, really available, other than unless you guys were to do it to one another, which, we wanna get this process going, so I think the best thing is just for me to go out and do it. I used to do it with my own company, plumbing, not HVAC, we did lining. I used to sell my own stuff in the beginning until, I hired a couple of sales guys eventually, but we don't happen to just have a couple of sales guys sitting around. So, in addition to that, a couple other things I want to talk about, but I got a price book from,
Is it used to do door to door?
I got a price book from Gear Pacific on the Amana stuff. And, so this is what I'm gonna probably have with me. In addition, I'll have my computer. And the reason I'm gonna have my computer more than anything else is because I've been working on the new pay plan for the HVAC guys that goes in line with the Euro Pacific thing, and trying to make sure the numbers and how we're gonna charge a customer. Okay, so before I get into the pay plan, how we charge a customer. So now on this, I've configured this whole thing so there's a complete separate one for the HVAC deal. And I know you can't see everything, but it's really simple for me. And if you guys will be able to do this too down the road, but basically I can put in the hours that it takes to put in the system, and then our material cost for the units. Now, I know when you put in a full system, you got the whip, and you got all this other crap, you got miscellaneous parts that you have to put in addition to just the unit, right? So if I'm doing a heater, if I'm doing a coil, the whole package, whatever. So all I'm putting in is off of this book, and then I'm automatically assuming that there's those extra parts in there. So the way I mark it up, it includes those parts. And then what I found out is, based on the old calculator that I had, because I was going with Gary Pacific yesterday, I spent quite a bit of time with them, and I put just their price in. I said, okay, what else am I going to need? And they told me. I put it in the old bid calculator that I used for plumbing for years, and our numbers are so damn low, it's like no wonder we're not making any money in HVAC, okay? He says, you know, I put, for an example, I put one system in and it came up to like $6,500 or something, $700, I don't know. He says, that's like $3,000 less than it should be. I go, really? So
Whole system?
what the system we were looking at in here, whatever system it was. So I went back and I'm like, okay, let me reevaluate this, and I changed the numbers and I made it work so that it came to closer to the number that they said it should be selling for. So our labor rate actually went up for HVAC, okay, and the price, our markup on parts went up. So basically that's what I did for here, and I was able to get real close to that number. So I'm going to play with this like this week when he's gone. If I'm pricing anything, that's how I'm going to kind of do it. But I do have these guys as my backup. They convinced me to, you know, it's better for me to go on my own rather than have them with me for a couple of reasons. But they're a phone call away. So if I need to get pricing on something, you know, what I should sell it for, whatever the case is, they're going to be there for me. So at least I have them in my back pocket that way. And then we talked about Alex doing this whole call today to make sure that everyone feels a little more comfortable, a little kind of a refresher type of thing. So that's kind of what that is. Obviously, I got to practice too with that, so I want to practice with you guys, you know, a little bit here in a minute. But before I even get into that, I did want to talk about no push or drama for the customer or the techs. We also need equipment pricing. Yeah, I got that. Okay. So this is the list since basically the beginning of the year. No, not quite, yeah, pretty close to the beginning of the year, January 15th. Till now, these are all of the purchase orders that we don't have, that someone hasn't turned the receipts in. Everything from Fuel, Ferguson, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Niagara Plumbing. These are all stuff that we're missing. So we have to go hunt these down and find out, are they even put in, that type of thing. And it's taken a lot of time. I mean, a ton of time. We have to actually go to Home Depot, bring the credit card that we could have used over the phone, so we have to bring both of them, with the ID, and you gotta sit there in the customer service line for probably half an hour while they print every one of them as they research them. It's a pain in the ass. So for every one of these guys going forward, and that's as of today, if you guys don't turn in a receipt and we've gotta do this, I'm charging your ass for it. I'm gonna charge you an hourly rate, because I am not spending my day or my week looking up for frickin' invoices that you guys should have turned in. If it was your invoice and you just didn't turn it in, so if you have a guy go pick up your work, get your invoice from him or her, whoever it is. If you don't, it's on you, okay? If it's your job and you're having someone pick up parts, it's on you. Make sure you get your invoices, because I don't have time during the week to be looking up stuff like this. I just don't, okay? So I gotta hold you guys accountable. You know, when I talked to Kevin about it, he said charge him $50 an hour. So if I'm gonna go out there and it's gonna come right out of your commission, I'm just gonna take $50 an hour. If it takes me 2 hours just for your crap, because, you know, it shouldn't take that long, but I'm trying to be real here. I just turn in your invoices. It's so simple to turn in your invoices. So that's that part of that. The other thing I want to talk about is the apprentices and helpers. So like that includes Nick, that includes Cameron, that includes whomever. If you guys, you know, make sure that, you know, we all know what's going on. If you need somebody for something, great. Because a lot of times, you know, like for an example on Nick, we may have things, you know, there's things that he should be doing first thing in the morning, first of all, that are part of his job before he goes out in the field. So he gets here in the morning, you know, he's clocking in at 7:30, making sure the bathrooms are clean, kitchen's clean. If we need to pick anything up from parts, there may be certain things that we may have for him to do as well as picking up parts. And then he's gone all of a sudden, no one says anything, he's with somebody, and we're like, where'd Nick go? So now we gotta figure out another way to do stuff, because you're just taking them without even letting anybody know. So please let us know, hey, is such and such available, or whatever. So if there is something that we have planned, we can get that done and figure it out instead of not being a last minute type of, you know, scrambling, okay? Same thing goes with Cameron and those guys. If you guys are taking them and you need them for something, that's fine, because what also happens, Cameron's looking for work, so he's like, okay, I got a slow week last week or whatever, I need to get some hours. So I understand he wants work. If we have work, great, but we can't just afford to, no one's doing anything and just have them driving around and not, not being productive. And the whole goal when you have an apprentice is for them to learn something or to help you so we can get done faster and make more money, okay? So just make sure those things are happening and you're just communicating who you're taking, okay? So the new pay for HVAC, before I hand all these out. Okay, so basically the way that we adjusted it here for California because some of the things just didn't make sense to me. So there's a few things that he's going to give me in writing, and I'll have everyone sign that. So it's not going to start probably until the 1st of March, but we'll have it in writing, and everyone will understand it. The good thing is you're not going to pay for your apprentices. Okay, so if you have or a helper, like if you're doing an install on a system, no matter if it's a heater or whatever whole system, whatever we happen to do, if you need that, that's going to be built into the job, and that's just going to be something that's going to come out through us. So we're not doing that old fancy commission thing that I've got to do all that work on. But basically, it's going to be the one thing that they do on purpose for warranty. If you guys didn't know, is they don't want warranty work. So if it's warranty work that's on you, this is what it means, meaning it's on something that you didn't do well, right? I mean, you made a mistake, whatever. It's not a part that went out, not something that you have control over. You should have tightened this down. You should have, the vent's leaking, whatever. You didn't do it right. That stuff's on you. You're going to make $15 an hour to go back and do that, okay? So no one's going to want to do that. That's the goal, is do it right the first time so we don't go back. That's why they do it that way. Vacation and sick time is at $25 an hour, but when you're doing a coil, so for an example, a coil pays 4 hours, or should take 4 hours is how they do this. So they're going to pay you $35 an hour for the coil. So basically you're making $140 for 4 hours work. If you get it done in 3, you still make $140, okay? A furnace, 4 hours, so the same thing. Furnace and a coil pays 6 hours. So 6 hours still at $35 an hour. You get it done in 5 or 4, it doesn't make any difference. Because usually, especially if you're having a helper and it's in the deal, it shouldn't be a problem. A complete system pays 9 hours. So you're going to get 9 hours times $35 an hour. If you get it done in 7, you're still making the same amount, that money. Then what I'm going to do, which is in addition to what they're doing, and I'm working out the numbers, I haven't finalized it, I'll have it before I give it to you, is there's going to be a bonus based on the number of units or individual parts. So a 4-hour slot is considered 1, right? So if you do a coil, it's 1. If you do a furnace, it's 1. If you do a furnace and a coil, it's 2. Even though it takes less time, it's still 2. If you do a complete system, it's 3. Okay? So basically, it's going to be a point system, and then basically I'm going to look at the points, I'm going to look at the dollar amount, and I'm going to give you a bonus based on that. So if you are doing the system right, this whole process, and you're doing several throughout the week, and let's say, because it's kind of hard to do it on a dollar amount, because everyone's going to be a little bit different on the dollar amounts depending on what you sell and how much you sell each week. But the number of systems that you sell and we install, I'm going to do a bonus on top of that. So if you do, it's going to be a minimum throughout the week. Yeah.
I just want to hear the rest of it.
So it's going to be a minimum throughout the week. So let's say I give the number 5, and I'm going to. This is something I got to work out with Kevin, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday. So when he gets back, that's my plan, is to talk to him about what would be fair and what would be reasonable. Because if you can do, for an example, a full system in 9 hours, a little more than a day, right? The goal is to be able to do a full system in a day. That's already 3 points. So if you were to do 2 of those in a week, you're already over 5, that's 6. That's what I'm kind of thinking is over 5. So if you get a total of 5 points, then I'm going to look at the total sales and do like a percent off of that. You see what I'm saying? So the percent will raise the more units you put in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're getting paid production.
This is
So you're
terrifying.
getting production, you're getting
No,
paid
this
production
is
as well.
this is honestly terrifying from what I can hear so far.
Why is that?
because $35 an hour for a single furnace at the present, I get about $400 to $500, not including I can pay a helper about $200, and everybody's making money. The way you're doing is I get $160 for installing a furnace, and my helper gets $20 an hour.
No,
so
they're
now
not
these
they're not
numbers
making-
have dropped significantly.
No,
so I'm
no.
going, whoa.
Well, what's
That
the
doesn't-
commission?
none of that
What's the
comes off of
percentage
you.
that you get at the end of the week?
There's
I'm
no-
not saying that comes off of me at all. My pay dropped from $400 to $160, and you expect me to do something that takes 4 to 6 hours because where we are, they have a system attached to the furnace.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to hold that up. That's what takes the additional time. Make sure I'm not messing up the refrigeration lines. But so we dropped something that was going to pay me $400 to $500 into $160.
What would
And
be
I'm
the
going, what the
percentage?
heck? Why would I ever do that?
I don't know that it's a percentage.
That sounds terrifying
No,
to
if
me.
you reach the numbers, so like you said,
I haven't done
that.
that yet, so I have to
Roughly.
kind of see what it comes
My,
down to.
my income
That would
tax
I gotta
is
look at our
25%.
margin too.
That would make the difference. Is
Yeah,
the
that's-
percentage at the end
And
of
that's
the
something I'm doing in addition to what these guys are doing.
Correct.
But basically,
Yeah, Alabama pay, California pay.
I've already increased that. They pay less. They pay less. They pay less than that. So I went up to what the average hourly is, but
Alright.
production is where you're gonna get the bonus, which is gonna increase that amount of money.
That's where
From
it's at.
$160 an hour versus $400 for
Not
the job.
160 an
to
hour, but
what?
yeah,
Or
you're talking instead of
$160.
instead of
for the
$35 an hour, you're still gonna get that no matter how long
Well,
it takes.
before I
right?
got $90 an hour.
Okay, well, yeah, we're not making money right now with
Right.
it, so on the HVAC side in particular, we're not
Well,
making
you're,
any money.
you're dropping my $90 an hour to $35 an hour.
No, I'm not, you're not making $90 an hour every day though. Doing this process,
right.
you should be making a lot more with this process.
That's assuming I can do it every day.
If you can do 5 parts in a week, you're making more than you've been making, trust me.
If I can do that right now, I'm making more than
Right.
than I've been making.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go over the whole thing with the bonus so you guys can see the actual numbers. But I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but I'm trying to make sure that there's enough for us to be able to still make money on HVAC. Because it doesn't make sense in my mind, if this was my company, I wouldn't be doing HVAC the way we've been doing it at all. I would just drop it, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm losing money in HVAC and plumbing's kind of keeping us going some of the time it's, the other way around. Every once in a while we'll do good with the HVAC, depending on who we're working with, I guess, and what kind of money we're charging. Some of those jobs we can charge what we really should charge, and some jobs we don't. So
Yeah.
that's kind of been the problem, and
It's
I have
what we're
nothing to do with the
selling
sale.
jobs at,
Yeah.
you know, because if you look at the margins, that's the difference.
Yeah,
It's like,
I mean, on
what you're
HVAC
selling
guys,
for
we're literally
$5,000
like
should
at under
probably be
40%.
Right.
margin.
Yeah, I know.
And then with our costs to run a business here, we have 0 left. I mean, we're not. There's no profit.
Gotta look at who's doing it.
I trust me. I see everyone and what they sell, and I can see your numbers on a
Mhm.
pretty regular basis. So
Yeah.
it's something's got to change. And if this system works the way that he's talking about, I know the amount of money that you guys can make if it works. And yeah, there's productivity's gonna be up. All that stuff has to be up for us to make money in this industry. That's the only thing that I can see. I don't know any other way for us to make money in this industry. Because if it was my business,
You
honestly,
gotta sell more. It's
well,
simple. You gotta sell more. You gotta do more.
you gotta
jobs,
sell
otherwise
more,
you're
but you
gonna
gotta
go
be
under.
able to get the work done.
Right.
And you gotta sell it at a price where there's a good margin.
Right,
And we
otherwise you
can't
can't
just give
make
it
money
all to
anyways.
we can't give it, we can't give as much in HVAC in commissions that I'm giving to plumbing, especially
How
when,
long would that take?
I see what the productivity is on a lot of jobs. If a job is taking twice as long as it should, and I'm doing all the numbers, yeah, you're still making your commission, but it's, because you're not worried about the hours, but it's still, put all those hours in a lot of times and really divide it up, I don't think you're making $90 an hour on a regular basis, I guarantee that. Because I see what you get paid, and I see the hours you put in too.
Yeah.
So, it's not $90 an hour.
Yeah, but what
35
am
an
I
hour,
doing?
40 hours is $1,400.
What's that?
35 an hour for
Mhm.
40 hours is $1,400.
Right.
If you're
Okay.
Unless
if
you
you're
get a
working a 40
commission.
hour, if you're working a 40 hour.
If you're working a 40-hour week,
That's what we
right.
want to
40-hour
know
week.
what the bonus is, because that could really add up for.
The bonus is gonna be,
someone
I mean,
that's
it's gonna be a
making
significant
$1,000.
part of it. That's just gonna be, so if you look at the minimums that you're making now, if you go out and you sell an HPC and you're not selling HPC, you're going and doing something minor, you're making $15, an hour there.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that gets sold where you make the rest of the money. The goal on this is to make that $35 an hour on a much more regular basis, plus have the bonus. I don't want to just throw numbers out with the bonus until I figure it out, because that's the last thing I want to do is have you guys expect this, and it's not quite as much, or I don't want to say too much that it's too high or too low, but I want to get it figured out first. The bonus is going to be enough that I'm not sure where it's going to compare exactly, because I can't do it until we actually get there and try it. Or what I'll do is I'll get on a couple of jobs that we sell with this process, and I'll compare how you would have gotten paid with that and how you get paid with this. I'm not going to just throw you down and say, okay, I'm cutting you off. If it goes until the 15th of March, it goes to the 15th. I'm not in a rush to do it, but I want to get it so that we're making money too. That's what I'm trying to do, okay? I want the process to work. I want you guys to make money. I want us to make money. We all got to make money.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not trying to cut you guys at your knees and just say, okay, that's it. I'm trying to make it as fair for both of us as I can. Because right now, it's not fair for us at all.
It's not fair for us either.
Well, what's not fair for you right now? You're making more money than we are when it comes to HVAC jobs
No, I'm not.
on installs. Yeah,
Not
you
even
are.
close.
Trust me, I can show you the numbers, Ryan. When I take out all the costs that we have to pay, there's no profit left for us. So
Oh,
the difference,
probably not, no.
the difference is you're getting a paycheck. Kalka is not from HVAC. They're not.
You've seen my paychecks.
Just think about getting less, because that's how we are. We're getting zero.
Just because you're not doing the work.
It comes down to who's selling the jobs for what price, and how are they getting done?
The only one that sells the jobs, some of you guys sell your own little jobs, but Kevin sells the jobs, right?
Yeah.
And are
I
those
have no
jobs
control
getting
over that at this
the
point, but
material, everything?
what I'm trying to do is, that's why I did this for him. So, and that's why I'm trying to make it where we can charge a little more, and then there'll be more for all of us, hopefully. That's the goal, but I gotta balance it so that we're making money, you're making money, we all gotta make money. So if not, in my opinion, why continue doing something that's losing money? It just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's all I'm trying to say. So I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I wanna let you know that that's what I'm working on. This is their system that they've been very successful at, and the bonus part to me, when I looked at the numbers, I kinda felt the same, $35 an hour, okay, so if they put a 40-hour week and that's all they're gonna get, I get it. There's gotta be an incentive for the commission part, or productivity, something that's gonna be, okay, they did this many, here's a percentage.
What's the percentage for them?
That's
Like, what's their
that's what's
bonuses?
gonna make the difference.
That's what I haven't figured out yet, that's
No,
what I'm
but
saying.
that's going
They don't
on-
have one over there.
Oh.
okay.
They don't have one over there.
That's what you're adding.
I'm adding
He's
that.
adding.
So
Oh,
40-hour week, you can almost guaranteed $1,400.
If you
If
work.
if you're working,
That's if you're
yeah,
working
we have to work.
40-hour week.
No, so you guys, if you
What's gonna
guys
make the
didn't know,
difference is the percentage.
and if you guys didn't know, they've already started from the new call center, is already starting to book calls for us, okay? I mean, they wait, the 21st is the first call that they booked for us, so they haven't been booking like our current schedule right this minute, but they're already started. So they're trying to get tune-ups and get us out there. So that's already started. There's 2 ladies that are calling throughout, they're doing other things as well. It's not just us all day long. And they get paid, we get charged $45 a call that they book. So it's costing us money just for them to, do, that's how we're paying them. So when you go out to an $89 call now, just remember, $45 is already gone before you even drive off the premises. Right? So by the time, there's no money in an $89 call as it is, really, right? But $45 of that is just for the people who scheduled it. That's what we're paying.
So there's no more waiving our service fees before
No,
we get out
we
there,
can't
right?
waive our service fees. They're not,
No,
I'm not
that's
allowing them to,
ridiculous.
no, I'm not allowing them.
That was
Okay, so
ridiculous anyway.
that's the difference. They don't have the option of waiving their service fee. They only book a call if they're getting for the 89. Now, we may have a special and say, okay, 77, whatever, but it's whatever it is, they're booking it for something, whatever. Right now, we're currently 89, that's what they're doing. If we need more calls, and I can say, okay, bring it down to 77 because we're off season or whatever, we can do that, right? But the goal is for them to start booking us more so we can get 2 to 3 calls per person every single day. So then that gives you at least, if you can get a third, sell 1 of those out of the 3 between, and you know what, and if I can do this selling thing out there with HVAC, I have things in my mind, of course, and I'm just trying to overcome those because I don't know HVAC. So what I'm gonna have to do with you guys is, I know basic things. This is a coil, this is a condenser, this is a compressor, furnace, this is a furnace. I can tell those things, right? But I'm gonna be learning probably the more calls I go out by saying, hey, so Ryan, tell me, so what did you do? Show me what you did. tell me what you did. And I'm gonna try to learn that way, and that's how I'm gonna do with the customer, so that like I'm kinda, as I role play or whatever, as we're doing this in real life, it's gonna be that I'm confirming with you or letting you tell me, because they may assume that I know way more than I'm gonna know, and that's hopefully the goal, right? I'm the supervisor, I'm coming out. Well, I'm not gonna know as much as you guys, so that's gonna have to be our secret, and you're just gonna,
Fake it till you make it.
yeah, you're just gonna have to tell me, you know, so I'm gonna ask you, so what did you do? How did that, you know, show me the results in the test. You have your meter, show me where you found the leak. Whatever, you know, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But our goal is to sell, so I'm gonna have to do that, and we're gonna have to work together with it. But when Kevin gets back and we're having problems, if this works out for me and for you guys as well, I have no problem going out and doing that with you guys, if you don't have Kevin. But what I talked to Kevin yesterday before he even left was about the pricing, which again will hopefully make it better so we can make some money on this. Because it was just way too low on what he was selling it at.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's just, that's the bottom line. We
why-
have to get a certain price.
Right, that's why we would do that for him.
Yeah,
And
and
we
that,
build the price so that we know what we're getting.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cause he'll sell it at $9,700 for a 3-piece upflow.
yeah,
It should be 11.5,
He would do that for a 3-piece in an attic.
yeah.
15.5 for an attic.
So, you know, I can't say anything about him, I'm just telling you that if I'm able to help you guys be successful, I have no problem going out and helping you. But I'm just, you know, we gotta make this work for both of us, because we got this many people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, plus some helpers, 6 people that are on the HVAC side. Which is you know, we have more people on the HVAC side, but we're making less money, and that's a shame. So, one of the reasons I wanted to do this whole thing with Geary Pacific and with Everest is so that we have a chance at making more money as a company and as individuals. So my goal is not to take money away from you, trust me. But at the same time, there has to be a balance where we're making money and you're making money. So we gotta sell it for higher, and we gotta figure out a plan that makes you more productive and you make money. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Okay?
So what about the service side pay, or is that the same hourly?
No, I haven't talked to Kevin too much about that. They do have, I know they have, depending on what you're doing, they have an hourly rate for that as well, plus a bonus structure. So depending on what you sell, like, it's like it's like if you go in and you're just doing a tune-up, okay? And then you sell X amount of dollars. You get your hourly rate plus a percentage of that. So it's just basically in addition to your, and I wanna say, off the top of my head, I wanna say it was like 15% off the top, you know, but you still have to have a basic margin, so you can't have $300 in parts and sell something for $400. I mean, that doesn't work for any of us, you know what I mean? So if you're selling stuff at the right margin, at least the minimum margin, you get a percentage of that in addition to your hourly. So there's different ways of working that. But
And then,
that's not finalized yet either, I'm just kind of playing with it.
And then what about warranty work that's not generated by who goes out on the call? So let's take Matt
Warranty worth
Meshikoff.
from 3 years ago.
Matt Meshikoff,
Okay, so,
because I'm not doing what I do there for $15 an hour, that's for sure.
no, it's your own warranty work is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Okay, see, I know I just saw you right behind me, okay. So it's your own warranty work, so is what he was talking about. Because, you know, the goal is not to have it, but if it's something else, if someone doesn't work here anymore and you're doing their warranty work, you know, we're gonna pay it at a more fair rate. It's still maybe $25 an hour. You know, so it's gonna be something that's fair for you guys and still not gonna break the bank. And I think what they also do on their plan, that when they're charging a customer, like Kevin used to do when he got here, he had like
2%.
1% or something, or 2% into a warranty fund, because we don't have a warranty fund reality. He would always do that, and when I got here, I'm like, okay, so where's the warranty fund? Do you put that in a separate account? Do you put that somewhere for warranty?
Charged it.
He just charged it, and it's like, well, but you're not even making enough to make
But
money,
it came off of
even
our-
with that
yeah.
1%, and, you know, so it just didn't work, and so we didn't do that. But if we do that, I have a separate account that'll go into, and that's where we pay our warranty stuff out of. That's how I wanna do it. Cause like right now, we have a marketing account, I have a bill pay account, we have a payroll account. Okay, so I know where the money's going and what has to go in each account to pay the bills and all that good stuff. That makes it a lot easier for us, instead of having one account and everything just comes out of it and you're like, where'd that go? Where'd all the money go? You know, so that's how we would do it. I'd have a warranty account, and it'd go in there, and that's where it would stay. So you put your, if it's 2% or whatever we decide on every sale, it just goes into that account. 2%, boom, everything. And then it starts building up until we have enough where something comes up, that's where it's coming from, okay?
Another quick question, you had mentioned marketing. Is there a reason we're not targeting areas that actually reached triple digits last year? Like Placentia, Yorba Linda, Anaheim, Corona? Because I have friends that own 3 AC companies out there. They couldn't keep up with the volume.
Okay, so right now, I mean, you're talking about when it gets hot, right?
Well, year round, they're still slammed,
All right, well,
because it's 45 degrees in the
the
morning.
reason, I'll tell you the reason
That's
that,
obvious, because we don't have any, even their call volume is.
guys, I mean, we're doing, with what we have, this is the issue. You guys have to understand it takes money to make money. If you don't have money, you just can't throw marketing dollars to the, you know, anywhere. You have to have calls. One of the reasons we're doing this whole system is to start building some money. Our marketing account dollars are low. They're low. I'm doing as much as I can with what we have. We have things kind of on hold that we want to do, we can't afford to do them. Plain and simple. It's plain and simple. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I wish I had, you know, $20,000 a
Yeah,
month
we're
that I
not
could just
marketing
spend.
like crazy,
We're
it's
not.
obvious.
We're
We're not
not.
We
marketing
don't
at
have
all.
any
Yeah, we are.
calls.
We are marketing at all. We
Right.
are marketing.
No.
Most of it's done through social media right now, and through GoDaddy. We're doing stuff like that. That's it. That's all I can afford right now. Okay? So if I could do more, I would. That's one of the reasons we're doing this whole thing through Gary and Everest. is so we can try to get money. We have to have enough profit, or even, you know, money that we're making, not just covering our costs. And we've been doing that for years, covering our costs, and paying a little bit of debt that was here before I got here. There's still a lot of debt before I got here. We're paying that debt off too. So any profit we get goes right to that debt. So I gotta have a buffer. I gotta have enough in here for us to say, okay, throw some marketing dollars here, here, here. We got a lot of things we wanna do. We got companies calling us constantly, can you do this, can you do that? We wanna wrap the trucks. We wanna do a ton of stuff, but you gotta have the money for it. We just don't have extra money right now. I mean, I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. That's why I have the outbound the calls coming in to customers. We have 17,000 customers that are in our database. That's what they're calling off of first. They also do cold calls in certain areas. We give them all of the areas that they can call, including those areas that Mike just mentioned. Every area from Orange County north to south. And they can cold call. They actually get $90 for any of those calls that they book that are not our customers. So that costs us $90. There's basically,
That's a lot.
we're basically breaking even on just getting to the house. So we have to have our systems, what I'm talking about with Geary and Everest, in place so that when we go to those calls, we have a higher closing rate, we get more work. That's the thing. Because if we can go to calls, guys, and I can count the calls that we go to that we sell nothing on, our closing rate sucks.
Oh, yeah.
In HVAC, it sucks. Not in plumbing. I'm not Sarah. Sarah's like, what? My closing rate doesn't suck.
Hell, no.
No, I'm not. Yours don't. Yours doesn't personally, but the company.
2 calls a week.
But the company, and you make the best out of every call though. I mean, so you're making money every week. You know, I've only probably seen 3 weeks since you've been here that you made little money. I mean, very little money. Meaning, and maybe not little to what you think is is high, but when you're making, you know, a couple $1,000s plus a week, you know, on the calls that we have, that's not bad. You're doing a good job closing. If you're making, you know, less than $1,000, that sucks, and I know. I totally get that. So we have to do better at closing. We have to use this process. That's why I really wanted to put this in for you guys, because when they explained it to me, I'm like, my guys need to do that. We need to bring our closing rates up. I want you guys to make more money. We need to make more money. I'll take whatever help I can get. So that's why we're doing it. So that's basically all I had for this stuff. I just want to make sure that you guys understand as that comes around. I'm going to make it fair. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but we got to make money too so that I can market, so that we can do other things. I've got to. You know, that's my responsibility as a manager, is not only, you know, trying to make sure that we're paying our bills and all that good stuff, which can be really challenging. We're figuring out who we're going to pay when sometimes, but especially when it's slow here for you guys, it's slow for us too, obviously. We have no money coming in, so it's not like something we want to happen. You know, unfortunately, it is what it is right now, and the only way we can do better is by making the best out of every single call, and I think this process will help us sell more higher items. So the good news is we're gonna try the rest until, it may even be till March 15th, but whatever it is until this plan comes together, especially since Kevin's gone and today's the 19th already, he's not even back until, I think just towards the end of the week, next Wednesday, so it's gonna be like the 26th or something, so I don't think I'll get it done by the end of this month. But until then, you guys are still in the same commission plan, so let's sell what we can and see how that works out, and that way I'll have something to compare and see your productivity when we do, if we even change over. I mean, I may have to make some adjustments, but whatever it is, that's just something I wanted to let you guys know. Because I like being completely upfront and transparent when I make a change. They say change is good, but it always hurts, no matter who's doing it. Just like House Call Pro, it's gonna save us like $1,500 a month just from changing. Minimum $1,500. Service Titan guys is between $3,000 and $4,000. It changes depending on the calls and everything else, because we get charged for every call that comes in and they all get recorded and all that. And I'm spending about $800 to $1,000 right now on House Call Pro. So the other thing, just I wanted to throw about two more things. One thing about House Call Pro, Service Titan, I am going to keep for the next few months, maybe for another 4, 5, 6 months. Service Titan, I'm just going to have one user. So if you guys can't find something in House Call Pro, because I've already had problems finding certain customer information and pictures, they're still trying to upload our pictures, and they're still trying to upload some things that didn't get uploaded, but it's good enough for us to work right now. But if that becomes a problem, I still have Service Titan that we can go back to any previous customers and look that information up. Pictures, invoices, whatever, customer history, who worked where, who did what, all that stuff I'm keeping. They send me a file that I can't even open, some SQL file. I'm not a techie guy, but it's like everything is like encrypted, and it's like
That sounds about right.
it's yeah. So anyway, I'm doing that, and then the last thing I wanted to mention is regarding the way that we look. Okay, uniforms. If you have uniforms, I mentioned this to Mike already yesterday. He had mastic or something all over his pants. You guys have uniforms that are bad. We need to use the uniform company. Get them turned in. If they're all jacked up, shirts, pants, and they can't. We don't want to be walking to our customers. This whole process relies on us from the moment we get to the front door, the whole process. So we've got to look good. We've got to be tucked in. We got to have, we've got to look good, smell good, the whole deal. So we can't have stains all over our shirts, or mastic all over our pants, and look like we just, got out of a ditch or something. So that's one of the things they talked about in that meeting before. You guys know that. That's the expectation. So if you have to bring your shirts in, if you have a problem with them not turning stuff in or bringing it back, let me know. I'll get on their ass, because they've been pretty good. I've been checking the uniforms. They've been pretty good lately, but we have to tag them and bag them if it's something that needs to be replaced or fixed, and we have to let them know, or let me know something's not up, because you guys take them home. I don't know what you take home and what you don't take home. And then all of a sudden you don't have uniforms, and you're like, well, I didn't get my uniforms. Okay, and it shouldn't take 2 weeks, but if you don't get uniforms, I'll call them and say, hey, I'm gonna have a couple of extras. They won't have your name on it, a couple of extra shirts at least, just as a backup, a couple of different sizes, large and extra large, whatever, and then we'll have them as a backup just in case, and we'll use them if we do have a problem. But we gotta have good, clean uniforms. We gotta look good when we go out there, and we gotta smell good. Okay? Any questions, anybody? I know it was a much longer meeting this time, but I wanted Alex to go through all that, and I wanted to kind of give you guys the information as much as I could. I think that's good. All right? So, Ryan, did you get hold of that customer, the owner? Do you know when that's gonna happen, or if it's gonna happen?
Oh, no,